Hey, high schoolers. Today I want to talk to you in Book Talk about nonfiction. So most months when I film Book Talk, I'll be talking to you about fiction books because a lot of kids like to read fiction. But the truth is there's a whole bunch of people in the world who enjoy reading nonfiction too. And in case you don't remember from elementary school, nonfiction means true. Real books, facts. And we have tons of them in the library. As a matter of fact, we probably have more nonfiction than we do fiction. And a lot of them are just how-to books, how to do yoga, how to clear acne, how to do karate. You could read about the Kansas City Chiefs. You could read about how to build a robot. You can read about history or fashion, cars. We have lots of books of facts in them. And those are great too. But there's a whole bunch of nonfiction that's really, really interesting, and it's called narrative nonfiction. And that's specifically what I'm going to talk to you about this month. I have 3 books in mind. When you come in the library doors, you'll notice a table set up that says Nonfiction November on it. And those are all nonfiction books that I recommend. So you might want to give those a look this month as well. First, I want to talk to you about the Bill O'Reilly books. Bill O'Reilly is a great narrative nonfiction author. He's got books about the time they tried to kill President Reagan, when JFK was assassinated, the building of the nuclear bomb, about the final days of Jesus' life when he was killed. Just lots of great books about historical events. This one is called Killing Patton. And I have to be honest, this is one of my husband's favorite books. But this book is about General George Patton. And this is him right here. He was one of the great generals of World War II. And if you want to know more, ask Mr. Crawford or Mrs. Harold or Mr. Maine, because they are more informed on this subject than I am. But General Patton was loved and hated. He was kind of rough and kind of off-putting. And he was one of the main reasons that we beat Germany on the European front of World War II. And when he died, there were a lot of questions around his death. Was he assassinated? Who wanted him dead? Why did they want him dead? So in this book, Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard, his co-author, really look into all the clues and questions surrounding the killing of General Patton. So if you're interested in that era in history, this would be a good one for you. The next one I want to talk to you about is a memoir. A lot of you say memoir, which is kind of how we say it in the United States, but they're technically called memoirs. And they are a story written by a person about a small chunk of their life. This one is called Hidden Girl, and this book is pretty intense. It's by Shaima Hall, I think is how you say it. And this is a crazy story, you guys. She was a young girl growing up in Egypt. She had 11 brothers and sisters. And her sister was sold into slavery. She was sent away to go be basically a maid, a slave at this people's house against her will, and she stole. And in order for her family to repay her sister's debt, they sold Shaima into slavery with the same family. So here she is, a young girl, and her parents literally sell her off to this wealthy family to be their slave. She has to cook and clean and wait on them hand and foot. She gets no money. Any money that she would get goes to her parents, and she's property. And again, this is like modern day. This is not a long time ago. This is happening right now all over the world, and it's called human trafficking. And the family that she was a slave for decided to move to the United States, and they smuggled her in with them. And so she became a human trafficked across the American border into the United States. Absolutely crazy story about real life events that happen. So for those of you that think maybe nonfiction is just boring facts, there's actually quite a bit more to it. This one's called Hidden Girl, The True Story of a Modern Day Child Slave. And I've got one more, another really intense book. This one is called 3 Little Words. And it's, again, a memoir. So it's about a short chunk of this woman's life. Her name is Ashley Rhodes Corder, and she grew up bouncing around the foster care system. Her mother was mentally incapable of holding on to her, very manipulative, lots of issues in her home life, and she ended up being pulled from her home and bounced around the foster care system. She moved from family to family, school to school, lots of lack of structure in her life, lots of home life issues, horrible memories. She had a really, really bad childhood, and this book walks with her as she relives what she went through growing up like that. And I think there's a lot of us who have had wonderful childhoods who can't relate to this, but this is actually a real journey for a lot of people. I've taught many students in the foster care system in my time, and it can go well and it can go terrible. So I think this would be a great read for some of you who've never branched out of nonfiction. Give a memoir a try. So again, this one's called Three Little Words. There's one more thing I want to show you this month before you head out. Hey Cardinals, I wanted to show you guys today how to log into the library system on your own so that you can renew your own library book. So I'm on lawsoncardinals.org, and I'm going to click on Media Center, and then that takes you to the library website. Click on Search for Books, then Lawson High School, and over here you'll see Destiny Discover. So once it loads, you'll see that the screen looks a lot different. Up here in the top right, we click on Log In, and you log in just like you would to your school computer. So your username is your graduation year, last name, first initial, and your password is your lunch number. Once you click log in, you'll notice that the screen changes a little bit and it becomes green. So now you are logged in, your name will be up in the top right, and you can do anything you need to do to deal with your own books. So you can go to My Stuff and down to Checkout, so you can see what you have checked out, and you can click these three yellow dots and click Renew. If it's on hold for somebody or it's overdue, then you're not going to be able to renew it. So that's what the issue is there. Hers is overdue. You can go to holds and see what books you have on hold. Let me go back and show you what hold means. So if I wanted to read the book Best Friends, but it was checked out right now, see it says out, I can click this hold button down here and it will put the book on hold for me. And then when the book comes back in, we'll send you an email that it's available for you. So now you can log in, renew your own book, and place books on hold for yourself. Just make sure that if you're on a public computer, you click log out when you're done so nobody else can get into your information. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me for Nonfiction November. Remember, always be a reader.